Digitize and monetize with iEnt Live, the only platform that provides complete digital support for entertainers, promoters, businesses, and entrepreneurs. Leverage our one-stop digital ecosystem that will allow you to promote your music, sell albums, and host paid events, host webinars and sell courses, promote your concerts, sell tickets and live stream events, and market your business or project to generate new customer leads, traffic, and more. This is all supported by our homegrown AI-driven digital marketing infrastructure that has successfully served hundreds of clients around the world. To learn more, send us a message or call 765-4641.
Hi, good evening, and welcome to Bloodline podcast on iEnt Live. My guest this evening is 2016 National Calypso Monarch, Devon Seale. Devon, good evening and welcome.
Good evening and thanks for having me.
The pleasure is all mine. So I'd like to start with you telling me something about where you're born and your family and that kind of thing.
Good. Well, Devon Seale, I was born in Tunapuna.
Tunapuna.
Right. I attended Tunapuna Anglican Primary School.
Uh-huh.
And after I would have moved to Aruka, Borne Gardens, Aruka.
Uh-huh.
Now I am back home in St. Augustine, Tunapuna area.
Okay. How about family, brothers and sisters?
Yes, I am the eldest of four.
Uh-huh.
I'm the first, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
First.
So, as a little boy growing up in school, what kind of hobbies you used to play and things?
Right, so I used to play football. I was a very good footballer, and I'm not tooting my own horn, but I was a very good footballer.
Yeah.
I should say small goal football. They used to call my creams. I was in Borne there.
What did you call it?
Creams. They used to call my creams. That was my name because of the Devon Creams biscuits. So, you know, creams. Yeah. I was playing small goal football and even some football. Football in Borne Gardens.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as well as music. Yeah, music. So I started off at Tunapuna Anglican, in the choir, singing as well there under my primary school teacher, Mr. Murray. And after going to Arima Secondary, I attended Arima Secondary. And that is where I met my music teacher, which was Miss Esther Batson, God bless her soul.
Oh, yeah.
Right, which is Dawn Batson's mother.
Yeah.
And that is where I started now playing the violin, the guitar, the piano, the flute, the pan, and doing the calypso at the same time under George Martin, that junior composer, George Martin, composer.
You were well-rounded.
Yes, and I also used to play tennis too. I can't forget the tennis, lawn tennis with Chetwins in Tunapuna. In Tunapuna.
So as a child going to school, going to secondary school, you competed in the junior monarch and stuff like that?
Yes, I started off at, so the competition-wise, I started off at first year in a government secondary. I performed the calypso composed by my aunt singing Sonia and Alan Welch. Both of them was called It. And I qualified for the first NACC. I would have been the Junior Kings, NACC, those competitions. Hosted by the NJAC. Placed fifth in that first competition in 1988. And it's after, in 1989, I would have transitioned to start under Mr. George Martin. That is where I started to, make the semifinals, the Calypso, Junior Calypso semifinals. I would have been invited to perform at the Junior Roving Tent. That would have been in 89. And from then on, from 90 to 95 or 96, 90 to 95, making it to the finals in the Junior Calypso Monarch competition. The best place would have been fourth in 91 or 92. No, not 92. Can't remember the year, the brains.
Tell me something, who are some of your favorite artists, both local and foreign?
Right, so locally, I would say, in terms of Calypso, is Stalin, Valentino, and the Baron.
Okay.
I think is more than just their music,
Uh-huh.
as well as their humility, how humble as a person they are, and I admire that from ever since growing up.
And what about foreign?
Well, foreign, I would say lately I went to Brazil in 2001.
Hmm.
And I had a greater appreciation for Brazilian music, was
Mm-hmm.
bossa nova and samba. One of
Yeah.
my favorite performers in Brazil is Ivete Sangalo,
Yeah.
as well as Caetano Veloso. They would have done, Ashe music, similar to the Ashe music, very similar to what type of, what I would say, soca calypso brand. And
Uh,
as
yeah.
growing up from small, it would have been the normal Michael Jackson, I
Yeah.
think my first record that I would have received as a gift was a Michael Jackson record. I'm talking about a record. I don't know if these young people know about record.
What a record is.
Yeah.
When you won the National Monarch title, tell me something about that experience. The build up to it and
I mean,
actually.
that would have been, it would have been, or it remains, I think, the greatest achievement in my career as a Calypsonian.
Mm-hmm.
Reason being is that I would have entered in the Calypso. I started off in participating in the Calypso Monarch competitions in 1997.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in 1997, I made it. I went to audition for the various tents
Mm-hmm.
and didn't qualify at the Calypso review. I went in as what they will say. I got into the semifinals as an unattached artist.
Yeah.
Same thing repeated in 1998, an unattached artist. And in 1999, that is when I started off at the Calypso review. In fact, at that time, Lord Kitchener, he was still there. Jazzy Panton,
Yeah.
Pretender would have been there at the auditions and would have been coming, attending to the tents nightly, religiously.
Yeah.
And that is where I think, the experience really, I gained much experience performing there at the Calypso review. And actually in that year, 1999, I would have made the first finals singing Layo and what most people know as Hang the Lawyer, but the actual name of the song was Ropa Dope.
Yeah.
And then after, it was first reserve, then again another finals, fourth, fifth. So, going over the years, it was always just there knocking at the door, almost, as I would say, almost.
Almost there.
And then in 2015, it was even closer, even more almost, because that year I placed second.
Who you play second to?
That was Chucky.
Chucky, right.
That year, but I sang My Humble Plea, what everyone knows as Go Now, Please.
Yeah.
And I did one on the judges called These Are Soul Judges. Our soul judges. And James Brown kind of silent and thing, and someone said, "Boy, how you expect to win that?" Want to bash the judges, and now this was just before the competition. And they tell me, "Oh, you really want to win that competition? Coming up for these judges, yeah, soul judges." So on the night of the Monarch, now you get that kind of little fear now.
Yeah.
So I kind of twist it a bit and say, "Our soul judges, our soul judges." 3 seconds. And then some people will say, "Boy, I don't think you will ever have it that good again."
Yeah.
And by the grace of God, that alone telling me those things, that was a motivation.
Yeah.
And I would say in 2016, which would have been the 20th attempt,
Yeah, imagine.
97 to 1996.
Yeah.
It's 19 years, but 20 seasons.
Yeah.
And on that 20th attempt, I give God thanks. I thank all my supporters, all the well-wishers that I was able to, come
through. Like a couple of weeks ago, I did an interview with Terry Lyons.
Yes,
and Christine as a Calypsonian, you have a 20-year cycle from the time it started. What Calypsonians call, you had to pay your dues. And 20 years later, you're supposed to reap benefits.
Reap the benefits.
You certainly live all that.
Yeah, in the senior years, that's true.
So now you have, yeah.
It created, more opportunities. In fact, that is when after that I would have launched my brand, Seale and Calypso. Seale and Calypso, more opportunities in terms of performing outside. So I would have been invited on 2 occasions to Costa Rica. Having studied in Brazil, I would have been invited to perform in Brazil and then all the other Caribbean islands. That's when the name, it's very important. Why people might say titles doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Really to get, and because of the fact that the Calypso Monarch title is one of the most prestige titles in Trinidad and Tobago's Carnival, I think that is why you see such importance and emphasis placed on competitions locally here.
But going to places like Costa Rica, Spanish speaking, Brazil, Portuguese speaking, how do we relate to our Calypso?
Well, and that's the difference, and that's why I appreciate these societies. So I know growing up from small, you hear something you don't understand. You say, me not understand what they're saying, I don't like that music.
Yeah.
It's the opposite from Latin America. They move by music. And I think the music probably makes them understand what is being said. That communication is there.
Yeah.
And additionally, after finishing in Brazil, I speak Portuguese and I speak Spanish. So that's why sometimes in some of my music, it will always to connect and to communicate.
Yeah.
And out there, I would do calypsos in Spanish. So once GB, the first time I went to Costa Rica, GB, as one of my composers, GB would have provided me a song on Awita. And what is interesting though is that in parts of Costa Rica, a lot of West Indians went across there to work on the train line.
Yeah.
There's a heavy influence. In fact, they speak in those in Cahuita and Limon, the province of Limon. They speak English is their first language. They speak, so they are bilingual, but they communicate amongst themselves in English. And when you hear them open their mouth, you will feel that it's not this person from Jamaica, this person from Trinidad. Where are you from? I mean, all the culture of what we have in the Caribbean, the rice and peas, banana, the stewed chicken, is very similar, and it is so popular there, Calypso. In fact, they celebrate International Calypso Festival every year, and it is now recognized. The Calypso music is now recognized as national music as well in Costa Rica.
That is good. That is very good. But do they have any Costa Ricans or children of Caribbean people who sing Calypso in Costa Rica?
Oh yes, and right now, in fact, the festival is in honor of one by the name of Sir Ferguson. Just this year, Walter Ferguson, he celebrated 100 years. And younger Calypsonians. In fact, in Costa Rica now, Calypso is the father, is the end thing now to be performed. So you will see persons coming from the capitals, San Jose, traveling to Limon to perform Calypsos. And when you hear the Calypsos, it is traditional Calypsos. They will sing about Kalalu, they will sing about rice and peas, and it's amazing.
You don't think that we, maybe the government, should tap into that some more?
Definitely, and in fact, the couple years ago, Embassy of Trinidad and Tobago, they were premier sponsors to the event, in fact. And they've supported them. I think it's unfortunately 2020. It was virtual, but all the years gone by since it started, probably the second year. Chocolates would have gone across there. Marcia Miranda at once, Chucky, and myself.
That's very good. That's very good.
Yeah.
Tell me something. What's your most memorable stage experience?
my most memorable stage experience.
Uh-huh.
I would say not the Masquerade night, but I mean
Mhm.
locally here, I have different, you know.
Yeah,
But I would
local.
say yes, the Masquerade night. Then
Mm-hmm.
I performed one in 2016 when I performed Respect God's Voice. You
Yeah.
know, it was one of those performances that you pat yourself on the back and tell yourself it was a perfect performance, you know. Everything was in place
Mm-hmm.
in terms of the props, the music, it was I considered it a perfect performance. That
Okay.
was this wrong in 2016.
Yeah.
Another experience I would say is in Costa Rica.
Uh-huh.
This would have been shared already on my Facebook page. And
Yeah.
I performed there. Um, this was in 2016 as well. Yeah, 2016.
Mm-hmm.
And, after the performance
Yeah.
was unanimous. It was like, yeah, long live Calypso. We want more. We want more. We want more. I've never experienced that. We want more here
Yeah.
at home.
Yeah.
So, how you would have felt out there. That was, I would say, a personal feeling.
Okay. And on the other end of the spectrum, what is the most embarrassing stage moment?
My most embarrassing stage moment, and this is a joke I will share here. I was at Calypso review in the early years
Yeah.
and performing, you're singing your song.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, there are two. I'm not sure which one was. I was doing this song at Calypso review, Jack Strikes Back.
Yeah.
And it dealt with Jack Warner. The whole issue with Jack Warner and the tickets to Germany
Yeah. Uh-huh.
and Judges Night.
Yeah.
This was Judges Night.
Uh,
Performed the first song, Double Encore.
uh,
Went into the second song now and saying it's just home, when the stretch here. Because
yeah.
I would normally do two songs at the tent.
Yeah.
So in performing that second song, first verse, good. Second verse, good.
Yeah.
Third verse, I can't remember the first line, right? So
Yeah.
the band chorus playing.
Yeah.
I went back to the first because remember the rules of Tuko
Yeah.
is that it's just three verses you need to sing. So the
Yeah.
judge. So while the song had four verses,
Yeah.
only three verses you need to sing for the judges.
Right.
And I said, all right, but if you go back to the first, because you
Yeah.
can't come and sing over the second. Go back to the first.
Yeah.
You will still record two, but it gives you enough time to try to remember at least one.
Yeah.
And band chorus, I went back to the first. And then finished the first again. And at there, my mom's just saying she's seeing something happening. She said she never see me holding head so. And band chorus playing and I just holding me head so, man.
Yeah.
And it didn't come. So I sing first verse, I sing second verse, and I went back to first verse. And I say,
Yeah.
thank you very much. And I
Yeah.
walk out. And I say, well, that is it. And it's only after the line was every time. And what was bad is that the third verse and the fourth verse started with every time. So
Yeah.
I couldn't remember that word. I mean, I shoot myself in the foot one time. And
Right.
only then, I think that would have been 2006, right? Because
Yeah.
we were now on our way to Germany. We
Yeah.
qualified at the end of
Yeah.
2005, and
Yeah.
it was 2006. And it's only then I said to myself that one, now the beginning of each verse, you need to have connections,
Yeah.
to connect.
Yeah.
Key phrases. So I say every time you should have known to watch your clock, watch your watch,
Yeah.
time. And from then on, I started to have these connecting words
Yeah.
just in case in the event. And you know what happened? I was left out.
Yeah.
And that was the only time I was left out.
Uh,
Semi-finals.
wow.
Suffered from withdrawal syndrome. I did not even go down to Skinner Park I went Maracas Beach. I didn't even, and mom was very disappointed. She was like, I still go in Mosquina Park. That is selfish. She said if you go to, I don't know. It was, it was devastating.
Jack Warner was the work at Jingle and you see that.
Yeah, but that was, I think I would say that was yours. Just couldn't remember.
So we reached the point in the interview where that I call blood pressure.
Blood pressure.
Is that trivia segment?
It's supposed to remain 120 over 80, or it's supposed to go up or down?
You will decide. Okay, so guava cheese or cheesecake?
Over cheese.
Guava cheese. Pillow or oil long?
Oil down.
Doubles or bacon shack?
Let me see. Bacon shack.
Bacon shack.
Yeah.
Beach or river?
Beach.
Football or cricket?
Football.
I know that would.
Yeah, and I say that for contender, Christoph Grant and Calypso Club. They me. They know I prefer they love the cricket, and I always telling them, why are you still fighting up for this cricket? I love my football.
Books or TV?
Television.
Television.
Yeah.
Power or groovy soca?
Groovy soca.
Reggae or Afrobeat?
Reggae.
Reggae. Christmas or Carnival?
This one. Christmas.
Christmas. How your pressure is right now? How you finish?
Let me check it here. Still at 20 over 8.
So same thing. So you good? The pressure.
We good.
All right. Vax Win is the newest NLCB promotion. To participate, you must be 18 years and over, be in possession of a valid Trinidad and Tobago vaccination card, and have received one dose of a WHO-approved COVID-19 vaccine during the promotion. The period is August 18th to September 14th, 2021. There are 100 weekly winners, each receiving $5,000, and there's a grand prize of $50,000. Stay hydrated with Caribbean spring water, natural alkaline spring water from the northern range of Trinidad and Tobago. Devon, yeah. Tell me something. I have you as intellectual in Calypso, academic in Calypso. Tell me something. What vision do you have for the future of Calypso and Tuco?
That's a great question. So, you know, I over the years I've seen where the persons who normally follow Calypso, the Calypso lovers, you know, and even at the tents, and I would say I would really like to see Calypso even come back to the days of when I started, because when I started, you know, Calypso tent, people used to be outside on the pavement. You line up and begging the fire officers to allow them inside. Additionally, too, I would also like to see us get back out there, you know, right now. And when I say out there, I mean at an international level.
Yeah.
And, you know, we need to look at the data, and this is for Tuco as well, as a member of Tuco, as someone on the executive of Tuco.
Yeah.
We try to bring the information and bring the data. And we need to look at the data. We need to go out there and do surveys and see why it is. You know, we have this decrease in attendance and audience. And I think we can look at the simple analogy of cricket.
Yeah.
Everything people want, according to Pink Panther science already, is quick.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that we should water down the message, but we have to look at the timing.
Yeah.
The timing of our shows and the timing of our rendition I think we probably is the only music today which sometimes you see it's posted there on YouTube. It's 9 minutes, 10 minutes, 8 minutes, 7 minutes. Could we hold the attention of viewers at 8 and 10 minutes?
Yeah.
We need to condense, and I'm not saying we need to condense the message.
Yeah.
The message could still be out there,
Yeah.
and make it more palatable.
Yeah.
And that is the key. Because if you compare with the reggae, the Afrobeat, it's 4 minutes, 3 minutes.
Yeah, quick.
So I would say we have to look at it.
Yeah. What do you think is required to increase Calypso airplay? You think that the same kind of thing, it should be shorter? I mean,
Well, I mean, we have been lobbying a long time in terms of legislation, because I would say in Brazil and in Canada, local music, and forget about Calypso airplay. Let's look at local music. Local airplay is very critical. And I mean, we're not greedy. If we could get 50% as a start, right? That is a start for us, and that is good for us.
Yeah.
Additionally, I would say, apart from the airplay, today we have so many different. We could utilize the technology. There's so much now to get our music outside that we're not fully dependent on radio airplay. You understand? We have the different social media platforms. Just put our music there. So I don't think the problem is, the platforms and how we get our music out there, but it is what we are producing to them here.
So
and how we package it.
Yeah. So the virtual performance thing, in your view, could work, but the packaging is the important thing.
Packaging, yeah.
What advice you have for a young fella come to you and tell you, I want to get into Calypso, What advice you have for a young person?
I don't want to sound too cliche, I would tell them, perseverance. To trust and believe in yourself. Trust and believe in yourself. I mean, I've seen many come and many gone. I mean, sometimes you could feel really dejected after performing and constantly performing, but just keep knocking on that door and making your music. At the end of the day, forget about the competitions, but try to please the followers of Calypso and try to attract more followers. So trusting and believing in what you do.
What do you think is needed for us to have Carnival 2022?
Once we fully vaccinated, and that's an issue right now. Once we reach herd immunity, is a clear possibility.
And
I would say the Carnival 2022, but let me go even a little closer into hosting our Calypso events. And I think it's highly possible that we can still host Calypso events and live events. That depends on vaccination. The vaccination drive, and apart from that, how we manage it in terms of entrance, verification of those who will be vaccinated, and audience management. So it's highly possible to still have, your Calypso shows, your live Calypso shows. But Carnival, in terms of jumping up on a road, and that might be
that kind of challenging.
That is.
All right. Well, I just have two more questions for you. What has COVID-19 taught Devon Seale about Devon Seale?
COVID-19 taught Devon Seale. I would say it has forced me. So I am an IT professional as well.
A what professional?
An IT professional as well. Right?
It
has just, forced me to really dig deeper in terms of exploring what it is I already do. And, it kind of like created. It has, I don't want to say, but to say it, creatively. Now, you know, I would say driving me to like think more into studying what could be produced, how can I solve a problem
Yeah.
in technology.
Yeah. And how has it affected you?
Related that mind. That's what I was.
How has it affected you, job-wise, career-wise, besides Calypso, career-wise? What kind of adjustments you've had to make?
I see. Virtual meetings is one thing about it. There's a slowdown in economy.
Yeah.
Some persons might not have seen. So why, on one end, it might have created more opportunities where persons recognize that, technology is the way to go, and virtual meetings, so it would have created opportunities on that side. But before, where our core, when I say our core, the company,
Yeah.
core service or product would have been IT security.
Yeah.
And business continuity, or IT security to be exact. Many companies they don't see that as a main aspect of their survival.
Yeah.
And to take the risk.
Okay.
Yeah, so that has been challenging in selling information security to companies.
Okay, just my last question. The future, your future, Devon Seale's future in Calypso.
Calypso, something I have to produce something for the outside market that will be big.
Yeah.
And as I tell you, trust and believe. So I'm constantly thinking of how it could be done, exploring ways of how this could be done, looking at partnerships as well, which is very important, collaborations.
Yeah.
Because we cannot continue going the way of it's all about myself.
Yeah.
It's all about myself. It's all about collaborating. And I always look at exploring those opportunities of even collaborating with some of those artists outside in the Latin American market, because many of us tend to focus on that North American market.
Yeah.
I am looking at that Latin American market.
Okay. Well, Devon, I must thank you very much for being my guest this evening.
You're most welcome. Thanks to you.
All right.
Be safe, everyone.
Okay.
Live
Thank you very much. I have been speaking to 2016 National Calypso Monarch, Tuco official Devon Seale, and you have been looking at Bloodline Podcast on iEnt Live, sponsored by NLCB. Thanks for viewing. Good evening. Ciao.
Digitize and monetize with iEnt Live, the only platform that provides complete digital support for entertainers, promoters, businesses, and entrepreneurs. Leverage our one-stop digital ecosystem that will allow you to promote your music, sell albums, and host paid events, host webinars and sell courses, promote your concerts, sell tickets and live stream events, and market your business or project to generate new customer leads, traffic, and more. This is all supported by our homegrown AI-driven digital marketing infrastructure that has successfully served hundreds of clients around the world. To learn more, send us a message or call 765-4641.